Hello everyone. Welcome to the 17th of February. Today is a Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday, which means that we won't be streaming this time tomorrow. It's going to be later because before I'm going to I'm going to be hosting. I am to be hosting my weekly Zoom session like every Tuesday. It's almost been 5 years. Every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central European Time, I host a Zoom session where we hang out and draw each other. You are all invited to join me because it is so much fun, and I can only do what I'm doing here now because of the practice that I have been putting in. Shannon Wang is here. Hello. So cool to see you in the chat, Shannon. Who else is here? Hello, hello. Ike is here. Such wonderful people. Hannah Marie, hello. So yeah, every Tuesday you can come and draw with me. 7:30 till 9:30, then there's a little break, and the daily live stream will be at 9:40. So that's 40 minutes from now, tomorrow. So that's the exception. Tuesdays is always a bit different, but the Zoom sessions are so good, and I would really love it if you came to draw with us on Tuesday. Nicole, Terry, Kiki, Rachel, Ingrid, so good to have you here. Hello. We get to work on a drawing of Elena Bursiu A. Both the username is the same, Elena's username on Instagram and YouTube, and she has maybe the most beautiful YouTube channel, and I encourage you all to go check it out. It's like she's taking us on the journey of this. Every step of the way is beautiful. The editing, the composition of the filming, of the way she's working, the work that she's making. And I had the honor of meeting Elena. Like so many artists, when I say I met this person in real life, it was all from the one exhibition 2 years ago in Antwerp. And I asked Elena if we could work from this screenshot that I grabbed from a story that she shared. And we can. So thank you very much, Elena. Ronnie is here, Corinna, Linda, Charlotte is here, Lisbeth. So good to have you all here. So let's draw. I have been working, trying to think about the idea of pure line. This was my Mobius from yesterday. I'm going to put Elena in here and see how that goes. Maybe the hand is going to point off onto the next page. And it was interesting because yesterday I was asking for your input, everyone's input on line artists. And I have a list full of men. And I wonder, please, more line artists. I want to know who the line artists that are inspiring you. And incredible artists. But I just noticed, these are all guys that everyone is talking about. And I would love to know if you know some beautiful line work, and they don't have to be exclusively line artists, but there are some artists that we associate with it's such strong line work, and it would be interesting to know of more people who do really awesome line work. Hello, Meryl. So I'm going to start drawing, and I would love you to know what you're drawing with today. I'm going to work with this is a 0.7 millimeter pen, felt tip pen. We're going to draw Elena. What is my list? Hugo Pratt, Paul Flora, Michael Byers, Matisse, Michael Craig Martin, David Hockney, Andy Warhol, Sergio Topi, Takahiko Inoue, Jeff Darrow, David Milan, Muka, and Keith Haring. That's the list. Please add to it. Let's start drawing. Just for the sake of having an idea, I'm going to put a 10-minute timer on this and see what happens. So yeah, I'm collecting inspiration. Inspiration has been a big theme recently. Last month I started my mentorship, the first ever round of my mentorship, and I've spent some of my time today writing to my mentorees, and a big part of our initial session and getting to know each other was sharing inspiration. Because sharing inspiration and seeing what inspires us is in one way it's a good way to kind of get a gauge on what moves us. And it may not be that we do work anything like the people that are inspiring us, but there's something to it. Starting to understand what is inspiration, why are we excited about certain things, is a really cool thing to consciously become aware of and tap into. And once we start to kind of identify the things that we love and start to realize why we're so moved, why we love it so much, it can be really interesting to see, like, is there perhaps some of that in some capacity? And it may not be the technique, the style, but there could be something about the emotive quality of the work that we're like, oh, it'd be really interesting to try and convey something like that. Like, yeah, it's just, in some way, everything we're doing, we're constantly like these visual filters, taking in information and seeing things and experiencing the world, and then we make things that go through our own visual filter. All these different inspirations can potentially play a role in forming some part of the process, whether it's subject matter or style or just the quality of light or activism. There are so many different things that can go into it. So yeah, it's been really wonderful and very rewarding to connect with people and just discuss like what we're excited about. What is the inspiration? It's just a really cool thing to touch upon. So that's why it's been really interesting just putting the question out to you, like, line artists, who are cool line artists, and I would love to know more and more and more. And I can't get enough of it at the moment. Sometimes at some point it's like when you take in so much new stuff and you just kind of become full for a while and you have to digest it. But right now I'm really buzzing on all of the new visual inspiration, sometimes being reminded of artists that I haven't thought of for a long time, or discovering completely new work that I had never known about. Hello. Yay on the mentorship. It's so good. I love it. The next round will be starting in April, so let me know if you're curious and interested, because I just want to keep doing it. It's so good, and I'm really enjoying the whole experience with everyone. Dana Marshall might count as a line artist, but what is it exactly? Who knows? I'm going to write it down. Dana Marshall. What is a line artist? There's also, sometimes the line is like part of the sketch, part of the initial thing before the painting, but the line itself is so beautiful. I was thinking about Danielle Atour, our dear friend who is also on Drawn Together. Hi, Shannon. Speaking of Drawn Together. And Danielle does these amazing paintings, and I feel like seems like his Instagram account is it's probably mostly known for his oil paintings, but his line work, his drawings are like, oh, they're so cool. And occasionally he'll share some and they're just delightful. So yeah, sometimes it may be like the kind of in the supporting body of work and maybe not what someone is necessarily known for, but some artists, like I was looking at Sergio Topi today and just like, wow, amazing lines, so many lines. This is still as I'm easing into this concept of line, pure line, what is line. I'm starting pretty minimal and clear, but I'm really looking forward to expanding upon this idea. And Shannon, who just showed up, is going to be live streaming after me. And Shannon has been doing really cool value study through facial features, which I was just thinking, if you were to combine this kind of line with the value understanding that Shannon is sharing at the moment, be making some really interesting stuff. And then to say, do you want YouTube people that helps inspire me besides yourself, or famous people? Both. YouTube people, they don't have to be famous yet or maybe ever. If they're doing cool, inspiring stuff, I want to know. And if they're famous, Cool. Could you draw Claude Beauty 101? I'm going to have to look that up. Claude Beauty 101. I'm not sure what you or who you're referring to. It could be my rabbit. Shannon just put the rabbit in there. I have a Claude Beauty. She's black, and she has these white socks on her, or gloves on her front paws, and she's got a little bit of white here, but otherwise she's black. And she bites and she scratches me, and I still love her. But she's a Claude Beauty for sure. But that's probably not who you're referring to. Her name is Rosela Rosa, by the way. But you could fill me in. Who is Claude Beauty? I can look it up later, but you can also tell me. I would like your summary, Willow. You could give me your version of Claude Beauty, and then I could go look it up after this. Educate me. I'm here for it. I want to learn and be inspired. Question from Tommy. How good does one have to be to take advantage from your mentorship? You have to be interested in drawing. That's how good. It's really interesting. It's open to anyone who would like some companionship and community and super focused practice and talking about what's going into making it, and then also putting in the work. And it's a really interesting mix. And I really feel like it's relevant for anyone who's, feels that they would benefit from that kind of guided process. And sometimes, there are so many things on my website, there's all these commonly asked questions and answers. But yeah, it's a really interesting mix. Some people that have very limited experience with portraiture, but have been doing a lot of other stuff, just thinking of the current group at the moment. And people that have been really practicing consistently for a long time, and there are different things that people are working with. There's some moving towards live sketching at events, which is something that I have done and I really enjoy, which this kind of drawing and also my Tuesday Zoom sessions are really they're geared towards that kind of thing. So that's like super relevant to that. And then there's also people that are kind of like have the feeling that they have things to say and they want to get it out there, and it's about finding a way to articulate what it is that they're trying to say, and just going through this big creative process and just kind of doing it in company instead of just doing it alone. There's also people who want really kind of technical homework, like take these steps to achieve that and then move on to that. So it's a really diverse mix, and I feel like part of the great thing of it is the group is that although everyone has their own reasons and backstories for why they're there for it at the moment, when everyone came together, we had our first group chat last week, that there's so much crossover between everyone, between the interests, or someone might be particularly challenged by something at the moment and other people have been there and are really able to support each other and talk through things and learn and share together. It's so cool. I also participated in mentorship. I think it was 13 years ago. And I benefited so much from it. And at the time when I did that, I was very eager to learn, but there were kind of big holes in my knowledge and understanding of how to draw and anatomy and all sorts of things. But I had this real desire and clarity that it's what I wanted to do. So if any of that sounds like you could imagine yourself within that kind of explanation and telling, then it could be for you. So that's I think you don't have to be good to take advantage of it. But it's good if you want to learn and you really want to do it together. So Nicole wondered about Georgia O'Keeffe yesterday. Not sure if it's a fitting definition. What's a fitting definition? I'm going to write that down. Thank you very much. Okay. Claude Beauty is a very pretty TikToker. She's a really nice scene style TikToker. I will look her up, Claude Beauty. Perhaps we will draw Claude Beauty at Willow's request. I hope everyone has liked and subscribed, especially you, Willow, because maybe we'll draw Claude Beauty and it would be nice for you to be here for it. Linda likes I Luigi Draws, stylized, right in this. I Luigi Draws. That was the first 10 minutes, by the way, so I'm just taking my little intermission, reading your comments. Sketching Scotty. And you're trying to remember one. Hi, hola. You're not late. You're right on time, Lewis. Nice to have you here. Terry was also thinking about Georgia O'Keeffe and saw a documentary about her. Wondered if her work may be relevant. Everything's relevant. Linda, Danny Gregory with Sketchbook School. Haha. Danny Gregory does a lot of continuous line work. You're loving my drawing. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you for the love. You can give me thumbs up and love hearts and stuff. Willow, you have liked and subscribed. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Liking and subscribing is a great way to help me with this channel. More people, more likes, more comments, more subscribing, then my stuff gets shown to more people. And then it just grows. And it's wonderful. It has been growing. Since I've been doing this daily practice, it has been growing, which is really cool. All right, I'm going to mix it up a bit now. So that was my 10 minutes. I'll get a work in progress shot. I'm going to what am I going to do? I'm going to get this. This is a thicker pen. It says 1 millimeter, but then it has this really big like nib. Sandy Hester. Thank you, Vanessa. Everyone's got all these names. Sandy Hester. Cool. All right. So there's some really dark areas. The beanie on the head, and there's some cool big collar. It's super dark, so I wanna really intensify some of this. I'm wondering, is this nib too much bigger? But I'll use it sparingly, and then I'll go back to the other one that I had. It's just such a different, it's like such a bold, heavy line compared to the others. But we have some really dark areas. But I want to keep focus on the idea of line, because that is my quest this month, understanding pure line. And I'm going to be using different tools. I had a look at some of the pen recommendations that people made yesterday, but I'm really hesitant to buy a lot of plastic pens. I love about the tell me about refillable pens if you have recommendations. I love that about my calligraphy pens that I can just refill them. Even the ones when 2 days ago, I thought I would use a bunch of pens, and I'm like, oh, they're dry, and now I've just got like this. Look at this, all these pens. It's just rubbish, unfortunately. So, give me a list of all your favorite sustainable drawing supplies. What are you drawing today, Shannon? Linda says, Shannon, I'll tune into your live, but you're always, I'm going to have to eat, or you become a monster. Dale says, if one could choose one way to support you, is it coffee? Is it paying for your daily drawing? Or is it Patreon? Is it? So I like to think of everything that I do as like an ecosystem of choices of things that people could do. And liking and subscribing and commenting is helpful because that helps it gets pushed out to a broader audience. And I know there's always so many things that want your money, all of us. But Patreon, so buy me a coffee is like you can do a once-off thing. Patreon, you can do recurring support, and I also do monthly tutorials there. And so that's really cool. It's different to the live streams because I really go into, like, I'm not interacting with the chat and sometimes just like talking about my day here and random stuff. But when I'm in tutorial filming mode, I'm really focused in communicating an understanding of how to draw more so than in the live streams. So if that would be of interest to you, definitely check that out. And recurring support is amazing if anyone's in a position to do so. So Patreon is really cool. You can also join my mailing list where I share different things because I had my first webinar recently, and in December I did a series of online workshops, and those kind of live offerings or courses, they're also very educational. There's a lot of teaching going on there. So it depends what you're after. If you just want to hang out and draw along and feel like buying me a coffee, cool. Or there is also a coffee tier if you're not interested in the tutorials, but you would be happy to buy me a coffee each month. There's an option there. And the link is in the description to my Patreon if you're interested. Yeah, something that everyone can afford to do is like and subscribe and comment. Leave lots of comments. Start conversations. Become friends. Think of this space as this is your place to hang out and communicate with each other. But you're probably busy drawing. If you're here for the drawing, you may not want to be up in the chat all the time. But apparently that's good for the algorithms on YouTube. Watching to the end. Yeah, and so talking about the ecosystem of different offers. There's like the free stuff. There's the Tuesday is a pay what you want thing. Come along and sketch with me, and I suggest €6, but you can pay what you want. The Tuesday sessions were born out of lockdown back in 2020, and I knew at the time a lot of people were like, whoa, worried about. A lot of people did lose work and stuff, and so I was like, just come and draw, hang out with us, and be together, and those who can contribute monetarily do, but it's a welcoming space for everyone. And then so there's like the free things, and then there's like the pay a bit things, and then there's the courses, which are there's so much in there, like my watercolor course, which I've been resharing some of the stuff from recently. 15 portraits, and we make a zine together, and I'm really happy with the work I made for that course. So if you're interested in learning watercolor, you could check out that course. And the kind of the peak experience that I have on offer at the moment is the mentorship program. So those are pretty much all the things. You could also commission me to do a mural or come to your event and draw portraits. But that is also something I do. But most of you are probably a bit far away. But I'd be keen to do more murals, and also keen to do more event sketching. So I'm here for it. That was a long answer. Vanessa loves the zines course. Cool. Sheila, time for celebration time. What are we celebrating? Yes, 5 years, Charlotte. Yes, and 5 years for Charlotte as well. So for those who don't know, Charlotte Blue Shine Art, we've had Charlotte on Drawn Together 3 times or 2. Good friends originally from the sketchy community. We've also done, I'm just wondering about the shadow at the moment. It's really cool, and I'd like to kind of have it in there, but I'm not sure. It might be might be a bit too much, a bit too heavy to put in here. Everything's so light in the portrait at the moment. So maybe I just leave it at that line, kind of indicating it, but not going all the way into it, because it might become confusing. It's a very cool shadow, but I just decided maybe not. Charlotta also has been doing a lot of online teaching and has a wonderful community. And you were in Mexico teaching, hanging out with people in Mexico. How was that, Charlotta? Very cool, I imagine. That's also something that I would love to do, like art, travel stuff. That would be so cool. I will have to do a sketchbook walkthrough sometime. I have one of these sketchbooks from about 6 years ago, I think, where I was really experimenting a lot with the calligraphy pen and doing a lot of drawing. Some of the 30 Faces, 30 Days stuff I did before I was teaching. I did a lot in there. Natural ink. Like, as I started exploring natural ink, I have natural ink drawings in there. And that was the first place I started filling pages with faces, which is something that I've come to love. And there will be, I've set up this roadmap for the year of all the different things I'm going to teach in Patreon. And one of them is spontaneous composition, which is kind of like what this is. How do, as one face after the other, how can they interconnect and interrelate with each other within the composition on a page? That idea of just creating a composition on the fly, the way the different faces interact with each other within the composition. That I love that kind of stuff. And yeah, it would be interesting just to do a walkthrough. Maybe that would be a video rather than a live stream. Or a live stream, I don't know. Elena's YouTube channel is going really well, and as I mentioned earlier, like it's so beautiful. Everyone go, same username on Instagram and YouTube. Go to Elena's YouTube, and the videos are they're so nice to look at, so nice to watch, and it really feels this whole wonderful vibe that she's taking the viewer on a journey of art creation and public transport, and it's really, really lovely. So I'm really happy to see that Elena's YouTube channel is growing, getting lots of views. And I just saw, she just shared a video yesterday, and it has at the time that I looked at it, it had 1.2 thousand views. And I only have a couple videos that have that many views, and she got it within 24 hours. And I'm like, whoa, it's so beautifully produced. There's a lot of love and attention to detail. It's just, as I mentioned earlier, just the whole filmmaking of Elena's videos are so nice. So it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, it was making me, should I make some recorded and edited videos? As it was an interesting kind of question, because it's something I haven't done for a while. The poppy ink video on my channel was one that I loved very much. I think usually it should be set up so that when people first come to my page, that's the one that's the main video, where I make poppy ink with my kids, and then do a portrait of Shannon's kid. But yeah, it's just inspiring to see Elena's videos and so much care into the making of these videos, and it really feels like you're there for the experience of making the image with Elena. So I was wondering, should I do some edited videos, some filmed and edited videos? I don't know if I should. The great thing about live streams is you just do it, it happens here. Oh no, the hand's out of frame. Oh well, most of it was in frame. The second 10 minutes, not spontaneous combustion. good. Hello, Silesh. Thank you, Nicole. I'm glad you like my drawing. It's been a bit strange. I'll just look at some of what I've been doing. So, since we had the Advent series, and then after Advent, I started, so like around Christmas, I started working into this sketchbook. Charlotte just asked, Dylan, how often do you link your favorite videos on your stories and Instagram? My own videos, I don't. Unless if it's a tutorial kind of video and someone does it and they post it and they're like, oh, I did this with Dylan on YouTube, and then I'll reshare it and be like, oh, watch it here. But I don't do that, Charlotte. Which would maybe that would be an interesting thing to do, to reshare things that are already done. All right, I just want to show you some of the things I've been doing. So it has been like going from these, like this one of Kendrick and Zulkarnain, like there are so many that I've been doing where I've, like this whole spread here, I'm just like, so this is so cool. I feel so good about these. I enjoyed these so much. These two are two of the first 3 people I ever drew on Sketchy. And it was so much fun to return to that. And then Bob Marley's birthday. Like, I feel really good about this spread. And things have been developing as I've been sketching through the sketchbook and alternating between pencil and ink. And this Shannon, who is about to live stream for our Drawn Together new thumbnail. So I've been doing this stuff. Here, I'm still waiting to weave a snake in amongst these portraits because this was for on the day of Chinese New Year. I was like, oh yeah, I want a snake in here, and that's going to happen. So I've been doing all this stuff, going through different things. Here I did some 5-minute portraits and stepping it all the way back to this idea of I really feel like this is so different. Everything I've been doing, so different. And I've been feeling like, oh, yeah, I was really excited about it. And then I was like, oh, now I'm going to, what is pure line? What could this be? What could it mean? And I've really like wound it back to this really minimal line approach, which was kind of like, it was hard to step into that different way of looking and thinking at things. But I feel like it's also really valuable to do so. And I hope that you're enjoying it too. I'd be interested to know who's drawing along with this pure line idea. And Masana, there was also, I was like, oh, I need to put something into the line. So I used lighter line work in there. Jean Girard, Möbius, such a wonderful line artist. And I feel like now I want to kind of experiment with more things. So I've gone from that reduced line to starting to add more lines and explore this idea of line more. So somehow this is all going to come together in a tutorial by the end of the month, and where I'll be focusing on this idea of pure line. So yeah, it's been an interesting process. I have found it kind of challenging just to keep it so reduced, but it's also good practice, and trying to communicate something clearly with less is good. And some of the work I've seen you people doing as well, it's also been really interesting to get so acquainted with such a different style, and then people are like just bringing it back to just a line. Really, really interesting to see. And I'm so glad that you're drawing along. It's so much fun to do this together. Shannon's a snake. Put Shannon weaving in the composition amongst all of those portraits. Howdy, Silesh. Finished. Thank you for coming for the end. Linda loves my watercolor course and just watched the colorful one yesterday. Always watch one through prior to painting. Cool. That's such a good idea. Before painting, to watch a video and kind of get inspired and take that into it. Silent, not spontaneous combustion. No. Okay, I think that's it. That's it for today. I'm glad you enjoyed that little flip through. Sorry that you didn't see me put those lines down, but that's how it looks. And thank you so much, Elena. Everyone here on Instagram and YouTube, you can find Elena here. Subscribe, like. You will enjoy just watching some of Elena's videos. They're really, really wonderful. Thank you for putting your little drawing hand emoji in there. It's time for the drawing hand emoji. So put that in the chat so that I know you've made it all the way to the end, and you have a special place in my heart, especially if you're watching the replay and you've made it all the way to the end in the replay. I would love you to comment and put your little drawing hand in there. It's always special and a pleasure, a delight to be able to draw with you and to know that you've stuck with it to the end. I really appreciate the time that we share together. So thank you, everyone. Bye, Willow. I'm going to look up all the names that people suggested. Claude Beauty 101. Perhaps we'll be drawing that person soon. Perhaps we'll be drawing them in the style of one of these other artists that someone suggested. Thanks, everyone. You're wonderful. Tomorrow we'll be starting the live stream about this time because it's the Zoom session. So come at 7:30 Central European time to come and draw with me for 2 hours in Zoom. The link is also in the description. And Dale asked about supporting me. The Patreon link is in the description. Buy me a coffee. There are all sorts of links. You can read my description and find if there's anything in it that's calling to you, whether it's about a course or it's hanging out and drawing together on Tuesdays or whatever it is. Join the Discord server where I'm sharing all of the reference. And people are sharing their work today too. So that is another really cool thing to do. You're amazing, everyone. Can't wait to see your sketches. Thank you for being here. And